Hello, JVIC members. Welcome to the video response section of the tech support calls. This first video is on the topic of web pages, so I'm just going to go through and answer questions. I'm also going to include all these questions and answers in the description of the video. So the first question says, at the end of the first section, Rob talked about the content delivery page. He mentioned OptimizePress, and I have that, but I don't understand how that piece of the puzzle works. Okay, so here's kind of how it works. Like kind of the big three that we're recommending are LeadPages, a shopping cart system, one shopping cart's what we're recommending, and then OptimizePress. Basically, LeadPages is what will capture your names and email addresses, but you got to put them somewhere, so you put them into your shopping cart system. Ideally, one shopping cart, could be Ontraport, could be Infusionsoft, could even be like Aweber, Constant Contact, MailChimp, some of those just pure autoresponder companies. But I think you'll find it a lot easier in the long run to have everything in one spot, which is why we're recommending a shopping cart like one shopping cart. So it goes, you capture the names and email addresses in LeadPages, you put them into your shopping cart. But then you need to deliver your content to people. Maybe you're delivering a series of videos or some downloads or some web pages, and you could try to go backwards and retrofit stuff into LeadPages, but that's not really what LeadPages is for. And most of you, I think, will appreciate using OptimizePress to format the web pages the way you want, to set up membership sites, or basically lay out your web pages any way you want, and actually host files. LeadPages does not support hosting files. So that's how the big three work together. LeadPages collects the names and emails. Shopping cart will then actually store them for you and send out emails to people to drive them to your pages in OptimizePress. Now, OptimizePress is a WordPress theme and or plugin. It's actually both. So you need to have WordPress, and in order to have WordPress, you have to have some kind of web host. We recommend, for the web host, we recommend HostGator and Bluehost, but any web host that will support WordPress is fine. And then once you have WordPress, you can buy and install OptimizePress on there. I would install it as a theme if you're doing a brand new installation. If you already have a WordPress site, you don't want to mess that up, so you could install OptimizePress as a plugin, and that'll leave your theme alone. So I hope that's helpful. I'm going to move on to the next question. It says, I think that's Weebly rather than Weekly. We moved from, I think, Weebly to WordPress and are trying to set things up for Ontraport. Any places to go for help? So yeah, well, first of all, Ontraport support is excellent. I haven't worked with Ontraport a lot, but when I did, boy, I tell you, I would just get on the phone with them and they would make sure that my questions were answered. So I was very, very impressed with Ontraport support. You'll find these links in the description of the video, but if I click to go to Ontraport's support page, you can see that they've got a ton of videos, documentation, even like a community of people sharing tips. So this would be a good place to go to get general knowledge. But if you need specific answers to your Ontraport questions, you can actually, from within Ontraport, they have a little help drop down. It's in the upper right-hand corner. I took a screenshot of it, and you can see like they link to the videos and documentation, which is where we just were. You can take a tour. This is the one this is my favorite right here, is the call us. So I would just call them whenever I had questions from 6 to 9 Pacific, and get those questions answered. So if you're an Ontraport customer, you can totally get the support you need. And I was just really, really impressed with their support. So I hope that's answering your question. You can also go out to YouTube and search for YouTube videos with the phrase Ontraport and whatever else you need help with. But I would just contact the company directly. I mean, you're paying for their service, and why not take advantage of their free tech support? Okay, so next question is, can I do opt-in page in OptimizePress, or must I also have LeadPages? Well, the short answer is you can do it in OptimizePress. I think you'll get better performance with LeadPages. LeadPages is just kind of the front runner as far as collecting names and email addresses. So you might save $50 or $100 or whatever using not using LeadPages, but I think especially if you're doing joint ventures, I think the difference in price will totally be negligible compared to the number of leads you'll collect. Let's say with OptimizePress, you collect, 30 out of 100 leads, but with LeadPages, you collect 60 out of 100 leads. Now, those are just numbers I made up, But if that's true, then you're basically losing 30 leads for every 100 people, or whatever, whatever the math is. I just know that all my clients have LeadPages and then some version of OptimizePress. Either they're using OptimizePress, or they have a web designer who's doing what OptimizePress does. So the short answer is yes, you can do it in OptimizePress. But I tell you what, once you get your business going and once you're ready to actually drive traffic from your first JV, I'd really consider getting LeadPages, because I think you'll find the performance is much better. Okay, next question. What does OptimizePress do? I sort of addressed this earlier. It's a WordPress theme or plugin. That means you have to have WordPress. And then once you have WordPress, if it's a brand new WordPress installation, I go ahead and install the theme. That way your whole WordPress site is OptimizePress. But if you've already got an existing WordPress website, then there's an OptimizePress plugin that'll still let you make OptimizePress pages without harming the rest of your site. So what is OptimizePress? It's a WordPress theme or plugin that lets you create beautiful web pages fast. The web pages they have are really, really nice. They have all these templates, and you can choose to add buttons and video and really, really get the look you want. Yeah, the thing that they are not as good at as LeadPages, in my opinion and observation, is collecting leads, which is what LeadPages does. I think that's where some of the confusion is, which is why I'd refer you back to the big three. The ideal thing to do is collect names and emails with LeadPages, put people into the shopping cart, and then deliver your content with OptimizePress. So also another thing about what does OptimizePress do is that it's good for hosting your content. That's a way to think of it. Is this is how you would get people to watch and download your videos, or listen or download your audios, or download PDFs, or read copy on a website. That's what OptimizePress is good for. It's good for hosting and delivering content to your prospects and customers. Okay, next question. So, would you use LeadPages to host your downloadable product that people pay for? The answer is no, because LeadPages does not offer file hosting. LeadPages, they do have this thing called a lead magnet, where they can automatically send something to someone via email, but it's not quite the same as them going to your website and watching a video, or downloading this, and so on. So if you want people to actually be able to download stuff, you need to host your files somewhere. And I would recommend hosting them on your website. So like ideally host the file on your website if you can. Like I've got a website called robgoyette.com, and I threw a file out there. It's a series of emails that I send out to an audience of crafters. It's a 3-day campaign or whatever. If I wanted to share that with people, I would probably put it under robgoyette.com / for instance, JVIC / and then the name of the file. If I click this right now, you can see what happens is it jumps over to my web browser, and I can just simply download the file. It's a direct download. This is what your customers want. What they don't want is to have to go to some file sharing site and try to find the link and deal with all these advertisements. And my concern is, if you're trying to find some free way to deliver your files to let people download them, that you're going to lose professionalism. And I'll show you an example. So I took that same document, and I found a site called tinyupload.com, kind of like tinyurl. Looks like a pretty cool site, but you can't direct download. What I mean is you actually have to go to the site. Then when you're on the site, you have to click the download link from here. So, I mean, it works. It's a 2-step process, but they have to leave your site to do it. And so I think it loses professionalism. Also, a little warning, they're trying to find advertisers, and once they do, there are going to be ads all over this page, and it's going to be really confusing, because a lot of the ads will say, click here to download, and they're misleading, and people click, and then they're on some other site, and they don't know what happened. So you can use third-party file hosting sites like this that are free, but it's going to confuse your audience, and you'll lose professionalism. Much better if you just simply have a website hosted on something like HostGator or Bluehost. My robgoyette.com is hosted on HostGator, and so I just go in there, I created a folder inside it called JVIC, and then I uploaded my craft show file right there. Another option is Dropbox. Dropbox is pretty appealing too, but it's the same deal. If you have to go to Dropbox, and then when you go to Dropbox, you can click the download link. So, I mean, this is less obtrusive than perhaps that other one, and I don't think you're going to have to deal with ads. but you're still going to a third-party site. You're still going to Dropbox. So I would not recommend this. But that is another free way you could host files. Okay, so let's head back to this question. So would you use LeadPages to host your downloadable product? No, you cannot do that. I would use my website to host my downloadable product. So I hope that's helpful. Yeah, if you have more questions though, just bring them to the next call. Okay, next question. Can you use LeadPages without a website? And if so, who hosts it? Actually, you can. That's one cool thing about LeadPages is you can host the pages on their site, on your site, or even on Facebook. So it's pretty cool that way that it interacts with all these different platforms. And so the short answer is yes, your URLs will end up being something like whatever your username is, .leadpages.net/the page name. So it will have the LeadPages branding in the URL, and some of my clients just leave it there because it's so darn easy. You make the page a lead page, you hit save, and you've got your web page. It's ready to go. You'd have to do a couple more steps to get it up into Facebook or to get it over onto your web page, but it really is only a few clicks. It's so easy. So yes, you can use LeadPages without a website. The ideal thing though would be to connect it to your website and or connect it to Facebook, to a Facebook page. But yeah, you can absolutely do that. Okay, say more about OptimizePress. What is it? So I think in earlier questions on this video I have, but it's a WordPress theme or plugin. It's beautiful, easy, fast, customizable, and great for hosting content. That's what I have to say about it. If you remember the big three, we got LeadPages to collect names and emails. We've got a shopping cart system to manage those names and emails, as well as to sell your products and do everything else in your business. But then we've got OptimizePress, or some sort of website to deliver your content. Okay, next question. If I have LeadPages but don't yet have one shopping cart, I can use the LeadPages thank you to redirect to Kajabi, correct? So, okay, well, first of all, yes, you can use LeadPages to redirect people to Kajabi. You can make a thank you page in LeadPage, or you can just specify that your thank you page is Kajabi. But you have to have some sort of autoresponder system, whether that's inside a shopping cart or whether it's like its own system like Aweber or Constant Contact or MailChimp, those type of things. So boy, I really would recommend you get not only LeadPages but also one shopping cart. Now, I don't know Kajabi. If Kajabi actually collects names and email addresses and will work within LeadPages, then I suppose that's an option. Let me just hop over to my LeadPages account right now and just see if I create a new page, and I guess I need to create an opt-in page. So let me just sort by conversion rate. I know this one works really well, so I'll use that one. Here's what I'm trying to see is if LeadPages, what it connects to. So I'm going to click opt-in form integration, and oh, okay, actually I should have gone. Might edit this out of the video. Should have gone right up here into integrations in the first place. There we go. So I do not see Kajabi in the list. You know, there is something called Other, which is where you can paste code. So maybe Kajabi does that, but I think Kajabi is big enough that if it was an actual email service, it would be listed in here, and it's not. So again, we're recommending one shopping cart. Office Autopilot is actually Ontraport. So if you have Ontraport, you would use this one. And Infusion should be in here. There's Infusion right there. And then they've got some other ones too. So, all right, I hope this is answering your question, but let me get back to it and see. So if I have LeadPages but don't yet have one shopping cart, can I use LeadPages thank you page to redirect Kajabi? Well, okay, so that's kind of yes and no. You can use LeadPages to redirect Kajabi, but you've got to put the names and emails somewhere, and I don't know where they're going to go without one shopping cart. Again, unless Kajabi does that, but I don't think they do. Until I get enough revenue to be able to afford one shopping cart and the affiliate programs there, can LeadPages do everything except affiliate programs and more flexible website designs? Yeah, so here's my answer for you. LeadPages is great for capturing names and emails, but not storing them, just capturing them. You can use them to make other pages. You can use LeadPages to make other web pages, but the primary purpose of LeadPages is collecting leads. You'll need some sort of autoresponder to collect your names and email addresses, like one shopping cart and so on. So you got to collect those somehow. Once you collect them, then you can redirect people over to Kajabi to do whatever you want to do with them in Kajabi. So I realize that's probably not the answer you wanted because you're looking for a way to avoid getting one shopping cart. And you could go get like a free MailChimp account or something like that. But boy, I think you're really sacrificing quality when you go with these free services because if memory serves me correctly, the free version of MailChimp makes people what's called double opt-in. So they have to actually confirm that they want to be on your list before they can get on your list. So you lose a whole bunch of people that way. And then I think you're limited to, I don't know, 500 names or 1,000 names or something like that. So if you guys are serious about doing joint ventures, you can wait until you're ready for your first joint venture. But once you are, I hope you'll invest in something that'll handle all the great leads and ultimately customers you're going to be getting from your joint ventures. And again, we recommend one shopping cart for that. Okay. Question. I have one shopping cart for autoresponders, etc. I also have OptimizePress and InstaBuilder. InstaBuilder, one-time fee, already paid for, seems to do the same thing as LeadPages. Can you explain why I would need to pay a monthly fee for LeadPages? Is it that much better than InstaBuilder, or does it have many more features? Thanks. Okay, so, well, first of all, I own InstaBuilder. In fact, I have the developer's license. I could give you guys all a free page in InstaBuilder if you wanted one. But here's the thing. I shouldn't have said that because that's a lot of work for me. I'm not going to give you guys a free page in InstaBuilder, but I do have the developer license. And so, because I thought the same thing. I thought, oh, one-time fee, this is great. But the more I dug into InstaBuilder, the more I disliked it, and I ditched it and went right to LeadPages and signed up. I don't know how to say it any better than LeadPages they really seem to do it better than InstaBuilder does. You can go to InstaBuilder's site and check them out, and if you love it, okay, then go ahead and use it. But I still think you're going to get higher opt-in rates with LeadPages than in InstaBuilder. I tried to show off an InstaBuilder page in this mastermind I was leading because I was excited about it, and I was regretting it the whole time. It's like, oh, this is not the same quality as LeadPages. So anyway, I am not an InstaBuilder fan. I tried to be. I even bought the most expensive version of their product and got all excited about it, and then I ditched it. So anyway, that's my 2 cents on InstaBuilder. Okay, let's see, what's next? I'm working on my digital info product. Do I use LeadPages to upload my product for sale? Right, so LeadPages will not host your info product. So LeadPages does not support file hosting with direct downloads. Ideally, you'd use OptimizePress to host and share your content, or at least your normal website where you can upload it to your website and provide people with a download link. When I was talking about file hosting before with that robgoyette.com/whatever, that's what I'm talking about there. So yeah, I hope that answers that question. Onward, my VA is creating my website on OptimizePress. Great. I understand OptimizePress also has the ability to create opt-in pages. Well, that's true. Do I need to also have LeadPages? What are the pros and cons of one or both? Yeah, so LeadPages will most likely convert your visitors into leads better. So when you're doing your first JV, if it's a significant JV, I would rather you send your people through LeadPages than through OptimizePress. You'll still convert people with OptimizePress. It's good. It's a good platform, and a lot of my clients used OptimizePress before they discovered LeadPages. Once they discovered LeadPages, they abandoned the opt-in process in OptimizePress and they hopped over to LeadPages. Every client of mine uses LeadPages, and they're all, yeah, I mean, it's what works. So we wouldn't be using it if it didn't work. Rich and Milana use it. So yeah, I cannot think of a better opt-in solution for you than LeadPages. But yes, OptimizePress does provide opt-in pages. I just don't think they do as good a job as LeadPages does. Okay, I've been hearing from LeadPages experts about ways I can actually create LeadPages to embed Google Hangouts for either live or pre-recorded webinars. Yes. Essentially creating all the pages of a webinar as well as the initial registration and thank you pages. Yes. Sort of a poor man's approach if we can only choose one monthly fee program as long as we can do video editing and affiliate tracking somewhere else. Yeah, you can use LeadPages for all your web page needs. The thing is you have to fit your marketing into their templates. And if you're okay with that, then you can do that. You cannot, they won't host files, so you can't let people download from LeadPages, and they won't collect your names and email addresses, meaning they won't store your names and email addresses. So let me see what I wrote for the answer here. You can creatively have LeadPages host all of your web pages, but not file downloads. Yeah, you must fit your words into their templates. Yeah, and if you want any kind of customization, really OptimizePress is going to be a bigger help to you. And OptimizePress is not a monthly fee, it's a one-time fee. Maybe that's helpful to you. But you do have to have a WordPress website, and typically that involves web hosting with a monthly fee. So yeah, even if it's just the HostGator, $7 a month or whatever HostGator is, yeah, you will have some kind of monthly fee associated with hosting a website. But then you can host your downloads, and yeah, and really you can then install OptimizePress and customize the whole thing. So and then I hope the person asking this question, I hope you also have some way to store your names and email addresses and send out emails to your list, and collect money for your products and so on and so forth. So, because that's going to be important. And, you know, you guys are doing joint ventures. You're not out there just like kind of kicking the ball around just to test it and, you know, try a Facebook ad here or there. When you do a joint venture with someone, you need to be professional and you need to put your best foot forward. So I really hope you'll consider investing in LeadPages, One Shopping Cart, and OptimizePress, unless you're already doing something in those areas that's working, in which case it might be a bigger hassle to switch. So I don't want to tear you away from something that's already working well, but if you're trying to explore, should I do this or that, or what's a free solution? How can I duct tape this together? When you're doing joint ventures with people, you need to be professional and appear professional and have a solution. If you've got LeadPages, boom, they already know that you know what you're doing. If you're piecemealing something together and they see your web page and they don't like the look of it, yeah, I think, you know, in their eyes, maybe your level of respect goes down a little bit or something. So anyway, with JVs, you really need to have your act together, and the solutions we are recommending do that. Okay, so next, do you need to use LeadPages if you have Ontraport? I know they host landing pages. I don't know that Ontraport hosts landing pages. I went to their site and looked, and I didn't see anything obvious that they actually host landing pages. I know they have like a web form for shopping cart when people want to order, but I don't know of anyone, any of my clients or their peers who are using Ontraport for their opt-in pages. They are all using LeadPages. So I think that yes, you should use LeadPages with Ontraport, not try to use Ontraport by itself. I don't know of anyone using Ontraport to successfully capture names and email addresses, but Ontraport would be good for storing those. Ontraport is the competitor to One Shopping Cart, and they do a good job. And again, their support is really good. So, okay, my answer to your question is yes, you should get LeadPages or some way to effectively capture names and email addresses to put into Ontraport. We recommend LeadPages. Okay, next, if the credibility website is less relevant than the opt-in pages, would you spend time and energy on SEO for the credibility site? Okay, so what this is asking is, when we're talking about a credibility site, it's kind of like your brochure site. Kind of like if people Google you and go to your main website, it's not some place where you've got like an irresistible free report and some sort of call to action. It's more like, here's about me, here's my products, here's my story, here's my contact information, and so on. So it's kind of like what we call a brochure site or maybe a credibility site that some people will use to check you out. So the question is, if the credibility website is less relevant than the opt-in pages, and I do think it's much less relevant, I think the opt-in pages are where you need to focus your energy. Would you spend any time and energy on SEO for the credibility site? So the answer is no. I wouldn't spend any time, money, or energy on SEO. Focus on getting your traffic through joint ventures. And if you are going to SEO anything, maybe it could be for your name, so when people Google you, your brochure, your credibility site comes up. But I tell you what, most people aren't going to Google you anyway, so you're better off just focusing on JVs and making money than spending a lot of energy on building a credibility site. Also, you know, set up your Facebook page, Twitter, LinkedIn. Those things will rank really high for your name right away anyway. So yeah, I wouldn't waste a lot of time, money, and energy on SEO at all. I would focus on getting your visitors through joint ventures. Okay, last question in this category. Someone buys, and then how do I set up the content delivery for that? So yeah, we've sort of touched on this in some of the other questions, but it depends on how you're delivering your content. If you're just going to show videos, you can host them on services like YouTube and Vimeo, and then you can use LeadPages or OptimizePress or one of these solutions to actually just show the videos. So that's one way. But if you're hosting downloadable files, things that people are going to download, like PDFs and MP3s and MP4s, which are videos, you'll need to put them somewhere and link to them so that people can download them. And that's where I would suggest putting them on your site. So the short answer to this question is, how do you set up content delivery? I would basically, I would install OptimizePress. You'll need a website with WordPress installed on it. So if you're just starting from scratch, I would grab a HostGator account, install WordPress on it, and then install OptimizePress onto that. That would be my quick answer for you. Okay, that wraps up this first section. Thanks for watching.